Hey guys, where's my money? What happened to my money? I woke up to a message from Kevin. Kevin was trying to reach me, but I was sleeping, and he was having trouble with his money. So in this video, we're going to talk about the problems Kevin had and how you need to learn from other people's mistakes. Now, Kevin's been here in the Philippines for a year now, and when he left the U.S., he was real proud of himself. He run up all his credit cards, almost maxed them all out. Had a couple loans. He decided he wasn't going to pay nothing because now he's on Social Security. Being on Social Security, creditors can't, take money from your check. Only the federal government can, as long as you have your taxes paid in full, and that's probably the only place you can lose some of your Social Security money. So he was full of himself, but he had a couple bank accounts. He contacted me. His bank account got closed, and we're going to go into the reasons why his bank accounts got closed. It was just one account got closed, not multiple. He had two accounts. The one that got closed, he stopped paying on the credit cards like I told you. He stopped paying on his small loan that he had, and his credit score dropped dramatically from something in the 700s down to in the 500s. And what did he expect? That was going to happen. You quit paying your bills, your credit score is going to go down. But Kevin, he's thinking, I'm never going to need credit again. I'm not going to go back to the U.S. I'm not going to apply for a credit card. I have my pension, and I'm going to live in the Philippines for the rest of my life. Well, the first thing Kevin did wrong was he didn't have an I Post the One mailbox. He didn't have any kind of traveling mailbox or virtual mailbox. He had all his mail sent to his daughter. And his daughter wasn't really good at opening the letters, especially after getting all the collection notices she's been getting over the past few months. She just gave up looking at everything, thinking there's nothing important coming. If it's from Social Security or the IRS, she's probably going to open it up and check it out. But if it's another letter from a bank, another, collection agent or something, she's just not paying attention to that. Well, one of his creditors got a judgment against him, attached some money out of his bank account. Now, I don't know how much or for which account that he owed, but they had a judgment against him, and they went and took some money out of his checking account and out of his savings account. Well, that bank decided to close his account. That was the account where he had his Social Security deposited, and that bank closed all his accounts in that bank. And I looked it up. Banks can do that if you prove to be a risk of any type. You overdraft too many checks, your credit score drops, or for whatever reason, too many overdrafts, like I said, they can close your account if they consider you a risk, and they decided to close his account. His daughter didn't get the letter soon enough. When she got the letter, it said, your bank account is going to be closed, and all direct deposits are going to be returned, and any and all checks or credits coming in are going to be returned. But he was unaware of that. He usually gets his Social Security check on the second Wednesday of the month. Now, I asked him, why aren't you checking your bank account every day or every other day? He says, I don't have a U.S. phone number. They want a phone number. I don't have internet access to it. So I just know my check's coming on the second Wednesday of every month. On Thursday, I transfer it, and I haven't had any problems since. Well, everything works well until it doesn't work well at all. Whatever method he uses, like I use World Remit, so I use my debit card, and once the transaction has cleared, they go ahead and start the process of my transaction, of my transfer. But if there's a glitch, if for some reason it doesn't go through, they tell me, your debit card has been declined or there's been a problem. Well, Kevin there's a problem. So he calls his daughter, she goes through the mail, and she finds the letter that states that the account is being closed and that all direct deposits will be returned to sender. Well, that's the Social Security check. It came in, the bank wouldn't accept it anymore because they're closing the account, and they sent it back. They're also going to mail him a check for the balance. It isn't like he can transfer it from one bank to another. They're just going to send him a check. They said, we will be sending you a check with whatever remaining funds you have in your account within 30 days. So he has to wait for that check to come in. So he has a way to collect some money, deposited in his other bank account. Now, here's the caveat. This is what makes this so difficult. One, he doesn't have the iPostal or traveling mailbox. He doesn't have any kind of mailbox other than his daughter's. He doesn't have a U.S. phone number. And also, he's never set up ID Me at My Social Security. Now, you had until the end of March to get that set up, guys. Learn from other people's mistakes. Because he didn't have that set up, he can't go in there and change where to have his check deposited. Either mailed directly to his daughter's house or deposited into a different bank account. He can't get into my Social Security account. He has to set up the ID Me account. Well, not having a phone number makes that pretty hard. You guys have to make sure you have some way of, relaying a phone number to Social Security office, the IRS, especially for this ID Me. So he went ahead and contacted his daughter. So he let his daughter know if she gets the OTP to let him know what it is. And he went ahead and tried to open up an ID Me account. And it's very difficult if you're here in the Philippines. One, you got to have a computer. Two, you got to prove who you are. So you got to use your passport. And when I opened mine, and I wanted to change my password a while back when I was having problems, I had to hold my passport next to my face, and then I had to look into the webcam of the laptop, the camera of the laptop, and they had to take a selfie of me, and they used that to identify that I was who I was. Now he has all these problems. He finally got in there, was finally able to do the ID Me. He was able to go into the My Social Security, and he was able to change what bank he was going to have his direct deposit put into. But he has the issue of the lost check, the check that they sent to the bank that got closed. He needs to speak to somebody. He needs to do something. So I went online and I found an international phone number for Social Security Administration if you're traveling. I also sent him the phone number to Social Security up here in Manila, the embassy, and also the email address of the embassy Social Security office. I'll put all those down in the comments section. I'll pin it to the top of the comments section. Guys, if you see that, hit the like button underneath the comments so I know people are interested in that kind of information. And I'll start leaving more and more helpful information in the comment sections instead of hiding it in the description. So a lot of you guys come out here and you think you're going to beat the system. You're going to come out here and not have a phone number to contact your bank. You're going to come out here and not have some sort of virtual mailbox, traveling mailbox or iPostal One. You're going to come out here thinking you can fool your bank. The bank is sharp. They're going to know if you're living out of the country. Once you start making some mistakes, when you transfer your money, maybe mail starts to get returned. He was lucky he was having that sent to his daughter. The unlucky part was she wasn't opening the mail. The lucky part was it never got returned to sender earlier. Any kind of mail goes back to the bank, returned to sender because someone doesn't live at that address anymore. Your bank's going to put a hold on your account. They might not close it, but they're going to want to speak to you about an address correction or updating your contact information. Every year it seems like I have to update my contact information. If it's just clicking on that it's okay or it's not okay. Get in the habit with the My Social Security account, going in there every month to see if the check is scheduled for delivery. Every month I look in there and it tells me the date that it's going to be deposited. It always says, like now I can go in there, my next check is going to be April 19th or May 22nd. Whatever day it's going to be deposited on, it will tell you. If there's an issue like your account suspended or something, it's going to say account suspended. And now you have a chance to send an email, make a phone call, do something to correct the situation before it gets too deep. The other thing is your bank accounts. Guys, you got to be able to go into your bank account and check it at least weekly. I go every morning. Every morning I sit down at the laptop, I check my emails, I check this, I check that. I tap on Wells Fargo, check my balance, I check on Capital One, check my balance, and then Charles Schwab and check my balance. I'm just looking to see if anything strange happened, or did somebody send me some money? You never know when somebody sends money to you. And how are you going to know that if you never check your account? I check my account the day my Social Security goes in to make sure it's there. I go in on the 22nd of every month and check my account to make sure I got my YouTube money, my AdSense payment. And I also check for Janet's to make sure it gets delivered. And I have a couple other things where I have automatic deposits into my bank account. Also, automatic debits. Did it pay my phone bill without a problem? Did my mailbox get paid without a problem? So you're staying ahead of everything. Nothing catches you off guard where you're staying up all night calling people to correct the problem. All these problems are very small and you don't even think about it until the day it becomes the big problem. And running up your credit and then just walking away from what you owe, there's going to be repercussions. And the repercussions is you're going to get a judgment against you and your bank accounts can get closed. That's the biggest fear I have over here, money-wise, is one of my bank accounts gets closed or I don't have access to it anymore because I'm here in the Philippines. So I do everything I can to stay in contact with the bank. I have a lot of activity going through my bank accounts, paying my credit card bill, paying a phone bill, taking money out, maybe buy something on Amazon every once in a while. I keep my accounts active. Money's always moving around, and it just shows that I'm alive and well and doing business with the bank. You have to do the same thing. And some people are making this huge mistake, and it's going to come and bite you guys. The day your Social Security check comes in, it's $2,000. You transfer $1,999, or you transfer the full $2,000. That's money laundering to the bank. Cash in and cash out on the same day, or cash in and cash out the next day, with nothing else happening in the bank account. It's just a receive and sending station. The banks don't like that. It just shows there's something up, because normally people don't do that. Normally people keep money in the bank for a week or two. They take some of it out, but month in, month out, people are going to say, oh, I have no problem doing that. Well, it's no problem until the day it is a problem. So be careful with your bank accounts. Keep them active. You know, you should have some sort of phone bill. You should have a mailbox bill if you have one. Maybe just your credit card. Maybe you buy something on Amazon once in a while. The way I do it, I have 3 credit cards. One credit card pays my phone bill. One credit card pays my iPostal One. And the other credit card I use for Amazon. And there's a couple apps that I have subscriptions to for my YouTube channel. So there's always a charge every month. And there's always a payment every month to all the credit cards. And that's the same thing with a bank account. There's always money going out to pay these bills. And I take money out as needed. Every month I take the same amount out and have it sent here. And I do it twice in the month. And I leave money in the bank. And I move it to the savings account. Maybe I'll transfer it to another bank on another day. But I keep my money moving. And I don't build such a large nest egg in any one bank. I try and keep an equal balance in all 3, just in case I have an issue with one of them. And I have my Social Security deposit into one account. I'm going to transfer where I have the deposit set. And I'll have it in a second bank for 6 months. And then I'll use the third bank for a while. Or I just have my YouTube money into one of the accounts. I just shake it up. I mix it up. I keep the bank accounts very active. And I keep my credit cards active. I don't ever have a balance at the end of the month, but I'm using them all the time. So guys, that's my advice to you. It's not really advice. Learn from other people's mistakes. Kevin ran up a big debt. He got a judgment against him. He didn't have any way to call his bank. He had no way to get his mail. He was trusting a relative to open his mail and let him know what was going on. It's better for $10 a month that you can control your mail. You can look at everything that comes in so you can stay ahead of a problem. Maybe he would have known that the judgment was coming and he could have called and made a cash settlement and not lost his bank account. or he could have transferred the deposit of his Social Security to another bank before it got stopped. They suspended it at the bank that he had the accounts closed in. So learn from these guys. If you've had any of these problems, you have any advice or easier way to do things, leave it in the comments section, guys. And until next time, thanks for watching.